talking back with COVID, I think COVID changed acting permanently. There was a
Oh, for sure.
there was a permanent change, and it's pretty crazy that we went from COVID to the actor strike to now AI, that it's
Yeah.
just changing everything. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, it's really, really affected the industry in so many ways. I had worked on this one show before COVID, and then during the pandemic at like December 2020, I booked a show that was going to film after the holidays. It was going to film
Hmm.
in January. And just seeing how different sets were being run, the crews were much smaller because they needed
Hmm.
less people, because especially if you're in a small studio where they're filming or something.
Yeah.
Um, just physically how production was run was really, really, really different. And then um, productions got more expensive because they had to provide tests for all of their actors and their crew. And if someone tested positive, they had to shut down for 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks is a long time to shut down. Indie films usually film for 3 weeks. An episode of a show can take anywhere between, um, you know, 5 to 10 days to film. So you shut down for 2 weeks. That you're now an episode behind on your
Hmm.
schedule. Um, and that costs a lot of money. So, they tried cutting costs where they could, smaller casts, smaller stories, less sort of big epic shows.
Hmm.
And then, right when things were starting to get back into a good pace, the strike happened, which I fully support. I'm
Hmm.
glad that we did go on strike. I'm glad that SAG, the actors union, SAG-AFTRA,
Hmm.
um, put their foot down when it comes to AI, especially looking now where AI is and
Yeah.
how much that's affecting production. Thank God that they didn't sort of sideswipe it in 2023 and think like, oh, AI is not a big deal. We'll worry about that later. Like, I'm so happy they worried about it before it became what it is now, because otherwise we'd probably have, AI movies by this
Right.
point, or people replacing, because, I see ads and commercials that are so clearly done with AI, either voiceover, so they're not
Hmm.
hiring voice actors anymore or announcers, or they're not hiring graphics designers, or just having someone plug in a prompt to an AI program and then using that picture for their ad. Like, it's changed so much in
Yeah.
such a small amount of time, literally like 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, because even when I worked in marketing, Canva was out,
Yeah.
and I remember even seeing ads made with Canva, and it was something that was talked about between marketers, that having someone design an ad with Canva and actually hiring an ad designer is worlds apart, because you're not going to get the same creativity. And we're seeing the same thing with
Right.
AI. The only thing is that AI is easier to access, and that's why more people are using AI, but they don't realize that there goes more into uh, creating stuff, and it's
Yeah.
that creative aspect that people don't really think about.
Yeah. It's mind you, I use Canva a lot for my
Mhm.
podcast art and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And for my job as well, for my day job as well. Um, just designing like simple thumbnails and graphics and
Hmm.
things like that. But yeah, it's been really interesting seeing people just like kind of take a template and then put in their photo, and
Hmm.
just that's like the bare minimum
Hmm.
of what it is. And it's a little, it just feels kind of cheap. I'm like, really? You couldn't think a little bit creatively for
Hmm.
this? I try to, as much as I can, like really make up my own design so that they look unique and interesting and not just like formulaic. Because
Hmm.
sadly, that's what it comes down to a lot when you're using these templates. It
Hmm.
just looks sort of generic and like everything else.
Yeah. And I think there's always going to be a category for AI generated content, because now that we're getting more AI generated content, even through TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, with Sora now doing all these videos, I think the demand for AI content is there, but at the end of the day, it's going to be just a category, like a subcategory in a broader field of different categories. There's people are still going to want something that was created by humans, and it's always been a thing because people want handmade things rather than manufactured things. And that's why you have, when it comes even to clothing, handmade clothing or tailored clothing is always going to be at a premium cost.
Yeah, for sure. It's and it's interesting seeing people's videos and whatnot on shorts or reels or anything, and you look at the comments and people are getting smarter and they can usually tell when it's AI, and they'll be like, this get this AI garbage out of here or whatever. And then the opposite, when someone really puts in the work and the creativity, you see all these comments, people being like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to not hear the same of the 5 AI generated voices, like the voice of Roger, I forget his last name. He's the voice of Ghostface in the Scream films.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Roger or something,
Right.
I think. But you hear his voice. It sounds like it's Ghostface on the phone.
Yeah, I do
As the
recognize the
AI
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an icon. Oh, Roger Jackson, that's his name.
Okay.
But it's an iconic voice. Or there's just that like very sort of bubbly female voice. It's like you know I can't improvise like a text right now. But it's like people are tired of hearing the same voices over and over. So when someone decides to do their own voiceover for their videos, they're like, oh my gosh, you have such a soothing voice. It's so nice to hear a real voice, a real person. People miss that connection and that creativity from people. There's still a demand for it. While there may be a market for AI stuff, there's still very much a demand for that human touch and connection.
Yeah, because I work with AI all the time, right? And when I speak with people that don't understand when something was written by AI, I basically tell them, I give them this example. Like if you text someone and they're your friend, you get to recognize their texting pattern. So there's been cases because I've also watched a lot of like those true crime documentaries, and there's been cases where they kill the person, then they grab their phone and they text like they're them, but you could tell, at least for forensic scientists could tell if this person was the one texting this message or not, because there's a text writing format that they use. It's the same thing with AI. The more that you use it, the more that you start understanding if something was generated with AI or if it's not, if it's actually someone like a person, because AI uses a certain structure when it writes. And it's that same structure all over and over again. And I think that's what's going to make people grow tired of just AI content.